You are listening to the audio production of Magic in Michigan, Book 2 of the History Mystery Kids series by Daniel Kenney, published by Audiobooks. This book was originally published by Bakken Books and is read by Joniece Abbott Pratt. Chapter 1. Mommy Madness. We fell, and we fell, and we fell. Then suddenly, we landed. I wanted so badly to open my eyes and see my father, or at least the inside of my father's office. I did not expect to find myself in a canoe, in the middle of a river. Toad was in the canoe with me. He was leaning over the side, grabbing something with his hand. Correction, grabbing someone by the hand. Henry. "Help!" shouted Henry, trying to climb into the canoe. I scooted up beside Toad, leaned over, and grabbed Henry's other arm. Together, we pulled Henry into the canoe. It swayed back and forth and almost tipped before we steadied it. Toad went to the front of the canoe, while I sat in the back. Henry was in the middle. He spit out water and looked around. "You guys get set down in a boat, and I get plopped into the water?" He shook his head, and water droplets went flying. "Where are we anyway?" I spotted the book on the bottom of the canoe, lying in a puddle. I quickly snatched it up and went to dry it with my shirt, but mysteriously, the book dried itself, like it had never even been wet, and on the front cover, a new shape appeared. It looked like an oven mitt. There was only one state, shaped like an oven mitt. "Guys," I said, "I think we're in Michigan." Henry threw his hands up in the air. "You have got to be kidding me." I opened the book. A map of the state of Michigan was on the left side. The words, "The Michigan File," were on the right. "I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you at all." Toad was dragging his hand in the water. "Here, fishy fish. Here, fishy fish." He obviously didn't much care that we had once again just been magically transported to a completely different state. Henry wrung some water from his shirt. "Well, April, there's only one thing to say." "There's no place like home?" I suggested. "No, Dorothy." He sniffed the air like a bloodhound. "Just what exactly does a guy have to do to get a cheeseburger in Michigan?" I shook my head and looked around. We were in the middle of nowhere. It was probably 50 feet to either bank of the river, and even then, there was nothing but trees, not a building in sight. "I suspect you'd have to do quite a bit to get a cheeseburger," I replied. Henry frowned, then turned forward to face Toad. "I don't suppose you could find us a lobster or two, could you?" "This is a river," replied Toad, matter-of-factly. "Fresh water. Lobsters live in the sea." "Which is not very fresh water?" Henry asked. "Which is salt water," Toad growled. "Relax, Animal Planet. I was just testing you." Henry rolled his eyes as he turned back to me. "So, riddle me this, Batwoman. First, we get dropped into a fortress in Florida, in the middle of the world's weirdest war, and now we get plopped into a river somewhere in Michigan." "Actually, only you got plopped into a river. Toad and I fell into the canoe." Henry made a face. "Toad and I fell into the canoe," he said, in a high-pitched, snarky voice. "Well, aren't you special? Come on, April. You're the smart one around here. What the heck is going on?" "Actually, Toad is pretty smart, too." Henry nodded in agreement. "Let me rephrase. I'm the dumb one around here, so could you tell me what's going on?" I studied the map of Michigan. Above the main oven mitt part of Michigan, and just to the left, was another shape, floating above it, not quite connected. I remembered that the state of Michigan had 2 parts, so we knew where we were. But the big question was, when were we? I turned the page to reveal the answer. Today's date, April
Sample complete. Ready to continue?